You want to tell really vivid, colorful stories about your past in Italian, right? Well, to do that, you need to master one absolutely essential tense, the imperfecto. Okay, let's start with a memory. I want you to just think back for a second. What was technology like when you were younger? Maybe the internet was way slower, or maybe you didn't even have a smartphone. That feeling, the way you describe what things were like, not just a single event that happened, but the whole scene, that is the absolute heart of the imperfecto.
Exactly. That's it right there. The imperfecto is basically our paintbrush for the past. We use it to describe ongoing situations, habits, the background scenes. I love this analogy. Think of it less like a spotlight on one single finished action and more like the mood lighting for the entire stage.
And to make this crystal clear, just think about how we say things in English. When you say something like, I used to play outside all the time, or it was raining that day, you're using the imperfecto idea. It's totally the language of nostalgia, of memory, of setting the scene.
All right, so the big question, how do we actually form it? Let's take a look at the formula.
Step 1, you find the verb stem. Step 2, you just slap on the correct imperfecto ending.
Okay, let's see this formula in action. We're going to look at the three main verb groups, and you'll see how this pattern just holds true for all of them.
Just look at the endings for all three verb types. It doesn't matter if it's an R verb like parlare, an ere verb like credere, or an ire verb like dormire. The endings are identical. Once you learn these 6 endings, you've basically unlocked the key to conjugating almost any regular verb in this tense.
All right, let's put it into practice. Quando ero al liceo, usavo molto il computer. See that usavo? It's describing a habit, something that was just generally true back then. It's the perfect way to talk about the person you used to be.
Okay, here's another one. Guardavamo. This tells us about something we did over and over again, a family routine. It wasn't a one-time thing.
The imperfecto is also fantastic for just setting the scene, painting the backdrop of the past. Here, leggevano describes what the world was like. It's not about one person doing one thing. It's about a collective habit before everything changed.
And hey, we're back to our technology theme. Scrivevano. This word describes what my friends used to do. And that contrast between messages and emails, it just perfectly captures a past reality, all thanks to the imperfecto. Okay, so you've totally got the main pattern down. Now, let's just look at a few little adjustments for some super common verbs. These are not major exceptions. They're just tiny tweaks to what you already know. So, this is it. This is the entire list of common irregular verbs you need to memorize. Just 4 of them. I mean, compared to other tenses, that is so manageable. Let's see a couple of them in action. So first up, we've got essere, which becomes ero. This is probably the most important irregular verb to know, for sure. It's all about describing a state of being in the past. I was young. I was always online. And then there's fare, which means to do or to make. Look at that ending. It still feels really familiar, right? Describes a routine, what we used to do at home. So what about reflexive verbs? The ones with the little pronouns? Well, it is even simpler than you think. The verb part itself, like alzavo here, is perfectly regular. All you do is pop the reflexive pronoun, like me, right in front of it. That's literally the only change.
Here's a fantastic example of a modern-day routine, all described with the imperfecto. Mi alzavo, I used to get up, and guardavo, I used to check. It's just a really simple, clear way to talk about a past habit. Okay, let's really quickly cover how to talk about stuff you used to like. With the verb piacere, you basically only need to remember 2 forms for the past. Piaceva, if you liked one thing, and piacevano, if you liked multiple things. So, for example, since video games is plural, we use piacevano. Mi piacevano I videogiochi. Simple as that. And if you used to like, your first mobile phone, which is singular, you'd say, mi piaceva il mio primo telefonino.
All right, so we've got the mechanics down pat. But beyond all the rules, why is this tense so important? I mean, what's the real power of the imperfecto?
This right here is the key takeaway. If other past tenses give you the plot points, this happened, then this happened, the imperfecto gives you everything else. The setting, the atmosphere, how people were feeling. It literally breathes life into your memories. It's the difference between just a timeline of events and a real story.
So by mastering this one super regular tense, you've really unlocked the ability to share your past with so much more richness and detail.
You can now tell countless stories and share all those vivid memories.